Welcome.
All right, we are on. It's time.
All right, it's go time.
All right, we want to welcome you all and thank you for joining us for Weeknight Workshop. My name is John Paul Clark, and this is my amazing, beautiful wife. And that's our other computer.
And it works good. Welcome, everybody. I'm Blair.
All right, tonight we are tackling the topic how to attract private money lenders
Yeah.
to fund your real estate investing deals. So here's here's where we're at. As of the date of this recording, we have received or pulled in nearly $2 million of other people's money for real estate investing deals specifically. All right. This was not money connected to banks, mortgages, lending institutions. It was all private individuals who lent us money for specifically for investing. So a lot of people ask how we got people to give us this amount of money. The concept, it turns out, is very simple. Three things: figure out what they want and give it to them, figure out who they want to work with and be that person, and figure out where they are and get into those rooms. Very simple. The hard part, to have the confidence to present yourself like that to those people. That is definitely the tricky part in this whole scenario.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, confidence for me in this area, I was really, really insecure when it came to, or when it came time for us to leverage this strategy. So if you watched our video, I think it was last week, you guys can go back to last week's live where we talked about how we did a live-in flip, we bought a duplex, we did a wholesale deal, and then we stepped back and we realized, what do we really want to do? Which one of those scenarios, strategies fit us best? We realized that we wanted to be house flippers and we wanted to be able to flip more than one house at a time. We wanted to be able to flip houses without living in them while we were flipping them
Done
because,
with that.
yeah, because that was kind of a hassle. But we didn't have enough money to outright purchase a property on its own. So, let alone multiple properties, we didn't even have enough to buy one house. So, we knew that we were going to have to go out and find private money partners to come in and partner with us and finance our deals. So this was about 5 years ago that we made this decision. And I remember, man, I was sitting in my office at my house and I was staring up at my goals board. I was tack my goals on my wall. And my new goal now was find a private lender partner. And as I was staring at that goal, my mind was really messing with me. Like, not other people, it was the enemy in my head. Telling me, like, but you've never borrowed private money before. So, how are you going to convince anybody to just give you that amount of money to buy a house? Like, doesn't that seem really foolish and naive that you would think somebody would agree to do that when you've never borrowed private money before? So in that moment, like, I felt so much fear and doubt, even though we had a great investment property lined up at the time. We had this great flip house. It was a great deal. It was going to profit really, really well. And I had seen other people that do this. Like, I had watched so many YouTube videos, read so many books, listened to so many podcasts, got into circles with people who I now personally knew people who had done this. And I knew that we needed that private money in order to close on this deal, or else we were going to lose it. But I just had this insecurity and this like crippling fear of, what if everybody that I asked told me no? And even though I knew other people had done it, like, do you guys know how when you know that something else works for other people, but regardless, you just believe that it won't work for you? Like, there's something wrong with you that isn't wrong with these other people, right? Um, and you just have this fear of moving forward and pulling the trigger. And so you're frozen and you're not taking action. But at the same time, you have intense anxiety because you know if you don't take action, you're going to miss out on that opportunity and then like just be steeped in regret. So this was the rock and the hard place that I was living in at that point in time. But that's because in that moment, I didn't realize, you guys, I didn't realize that as long as you have a good investment opportunity and you yourself have a good track record as a business person and an ethical person, the money for your deal will always line up. All right, so I want somebody to drop in the chat right now or say it in the comments. Say always. As long as things are good, things will always line up for me.
All right. But there's always got to be this. We were definitely afraid because we had never borrowed private money before. So, how were we expecting someone to trust us with their money, not having any track record of it? So, our big question that we had, how do you get people to trust you when you've never done business with them? And we actually, the answer really presented itself naturally. And we're going to tell you this whole process here. There's a thing called social proof. It's when people see other people commenting on your posts, on your brand, in positive ways. Okay. So I want you to think about this. Imagine you're doing some Amazon shopping and you see a product. Immediately, if you've never bought from that company before or used their products, you will go into the comments, into the reviews, and see what people say. You read down 2, 3, 4, and they're all positive comments. Oh, this brand is great. This company's wonderful. Then automatically you're like, okay, I'm sold. I'm going to buy that product.
Must be good.
Flip side, you see negative reviews, and it's like, nope, on to the next. So that's social proof. All right. But what we didn't realize is private lenders, they weren't concerned that we had never borrowed money, private money before. All right. That wasn't the number one concern. They were more concerned with these three things: our previous real estate success, our track record, okay, our good business ethics and personal characteristics. Are we trustworthy people? And mostly the return that they would get on the investment. None of those things had anything to do with our previous borrowing of private money. All right. So within that world, we were already showcasing our real estate investing success on social media. We'd already done this live and flip, and we were showcasing that. We did owned and managed a duplex that was cash flowing. We did a wholesale deal with a great return. So I don't really post a lot on social media. It's not my thing, but you all know that Blair's all over it. So she's been archiving the snot out of everything that we have been doing over the last few years. And this was providing that proof that these investors needed to see to feel comfortable to lend us their money, their personal capital.
Yeah. So when I left teaching, I didn't know anything about marketing, social media marketing, or anything like that. There were a few years in between me leaving teaching and us venturing out into real estate investing. And what I did in the in between time to try to supplement our income, emphasis on the word try, was I tried to sell online products. I tried to get into online marketing, selling fitness products. And I stunk at it. I was not good at selling fitness products online, not at all. But I don't begrudge that experience because it taught me a lot about how to intentionally use social media for a purpose. All right, whether it's sales or whether you're trying to build awareness of whatever it is that you're trying to build awareness for. I learned a lot about social media marketing through that experience, and so during that time, I developed an awareness of the importance of social proof and then also intentionally building your brand. Um, And some of the people that I followed had real conversations with their audience that John Paul and I feel we need to have some real talk with you guys right now. So long as there's, it's adults only in the room and everybody can handle it, if you guys can handle this conversation, okay? Um, the thing about it is, you and me and everybody in the world sees what everybody is posting on social media. And
Yes.
a lot of people will claim that they are not judgmental, but I don't care how non-judgmental you think you are. You are 100% judging the majority of the posts that you are scrolling through on social media. And oftentimes you are jumping all over them as well. Okay. So we live at this point in time where we are all fully aware, you should have been for like the last 20 years, that if you apply for a job or somebody reaches out to you through a dating app, or let's say you just want to purchase something on Facebook Marketplace, right? What is the first thing that you and everybody else does to see if the person is actually legit, like they're not a bot, right? Or to see that the person is credible? And trustworthy, or to see if the person is good looking or not, right? So you better all say, we stalk them on social media, right? You go and you look at their social to set up this like predetermined judgment of the person before you do the thing, right? So we were aware of that when we went into real estate investing, and we were also really aware of the fact that we would need to build a network of just high quality, high value people if we wanted to scale and grow our business. If we wanted to build our business, we knew we'd need to build a network. And one of those things we needed to build alongside of that was building a brand. So, from the very beginning with real estate investing, everything that I posted on social media was very intentional. And the intention of it was to attract the type of people that we wanted to help us build and grow our business. From attorneys to vendors to contractors to other investors who might bring us deals. And everything that we posted was authentic and true. And that's what I would encourage anybody building a brand to do: be authentic and be true. But it's just, mostly me, because you don't really post a whole lot, but we only posted content that was in alignment with our brand. So I'm not talking about like everything we post is about real estate, because you all see a ridiculous amount of photos of the boys, right? And whatever it is that we're up to as a family. But what I mean is in alignment with our brand is more like in alignment with the professional persona I wanted people to think of when they thought about us, right? I wanted them to think of professional people. So this meant that I don't post every single little complaint or feeling or disagreement that I may have, that pops into my head throughout the day, or that I feel in the moment while I'm scrolling through, right? And like, there is a ton of immaturity and negativity and randomness inside of me that I could absolutely add to the social sphere. All right. I could dump that on there if I really wanted to, because it's there, right? It's innate. It's just I swallow that because I'm using social media for a purpose, not just like this dumping ground, right? So I try to keep things as intentional as possible. But like, totally won't lie, there are absolute times of weakness where there's typing and then there's immediate deleting in the comments field before I hit send. And then sometimes I make a post and it's just kind of petty and I'm like, "You know what? That was petty. I'm going to delete that. That was off brand." So my intentional posting is just sort of like my guideline for my social media etiquette that I follow.
Yeah. So if you don't know how important this is right now, I'm going to give you another example.
In case you're not convinced.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to do a little thought experiment. It's Friday night. It's a date night.
Yeah, yeah.
You're gearing up to go out for an adults only evening. do some of that.
Go on.
Okay. But your regular babysitter calls in sick.
Bummer.
Yeah. You don't have a backup, so now you got to reach out to the ethos and try to find some unknown new person to come watch your precious children, and that's a little unnerving. So if someone reaches out to you and says, I can babysit your kids." Well, you say you ask questions, but then before getting back with them, you do what she said earlier, you stalk them on social media
Absolutely.
and you go see, look through, all right, well, what is this person posting? And you see it's like really inappropriate things, not really quality, a lot of
Trashy.
trashy, yeah, posts, things like that. And and like they might be an amazing babysitter. They might be incredible with kids,
Right.
but only know what you see. Okay. And so if they're showing those things, you, me, all of us, we're going to do a hard pass on that.
Hard pass.
Okay. So just like you wouldn't be comfortable entrusting your precious children to someone who puts that kind of stuff out there on social media, a private money lender wouldn't be comfortable giving their nest egg, their hard earned
Their
cash,
money baby.
their money baby, over to you and say, yes, I trust you to, to do well with this. Okay. So that's why this is important. So here's your call to action. All right. Of course, you're going to finish watching this whole video and get all the other gems you need to get out of it.
Of course.
All right. And while you're at it, like, subscribe, and give us all that good YouTube love that we need on here. All right. So, but as soon as you're done with that, I encourage you to do this thing that we ourselves have had to do. Go through your social media posts as far back as you can and be ruthless about deleting anything that is not on brand with what you are trying to put out there to build your professional, quality, trustworthy business. All right. So that is your homework for tonight. Make it happen.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes. So once you've cleaned up your Facebooks and your Instagrams, once you've done that, you might be asking yourself, okay, now I have embodied the persona. I am now the person that private money lenders would want to work with. So that's wonderful. Now I've become the person that private money lenders want to work with, but how do I then find private money lenders? How do you even find these people with large amounts of personal capital who wish to invest in your real estate deals? Let's just say you don't have any rich relatives. You don't have a high net worth circle of friends that you can tap into. If you don't know any of these people already, then you have to go to where these people are and start to introduce yourself and build these relationships, okay? So for us, that meant we had to start going to real estate investing networking events because that's where the private capital geared toward real estate investments was going to be. Honestly, literally everybody that you need for your real estate investing business is going to be in rooms like this. Whether you need attorneys or you need contractors or vendors or title companies, or you're looking for more deals from other investors, or you need private money, everybody that you need will be at networking events and in online networking groups, okay? So how things go down at these events is you mix and you mingle. You meet people and you ask them, what do you do? And they ask you, what do you do? And you idea share, you strategy share, you tell, your goals, your dreams, your hopes, right? You ask each other engaging questions, and really quicker than you think, you start building relationships with some high quality people who bring a plethora of resources and skill sets into your sphere, for lack of a better word, that you don't yourself possess. And these people are happy to allow you to leverage their resources and their skill sets because they're going to want to do the same thing with the resources and skill sets that you provide, right? And most of the time, you guys are going to start following each other on social media. And so, this is why it is so important, like we said, to have that type of social proof to prove to these high value people that you are also a high value person that they would actually want to do business with. So, the majority of our private lenders that we have used over the last few years, that we use right now today, they have come from networking events. And our lenders, if I were to describe them, are not big, scary, intimidating, unapproachable people. They're very much just like us, except they just have a lot more cash. They are all of them. All of them. Like when I stop to think about it, real estate investors, either past or present. Some of them are still actively hands on in their own real estate deals, and some of them have retired from it and they don't want to be hands on anymore. They just want to let their money go in and out of deals and let their money work for them and make them money. But because they have all either been investors or they currently are, they all understand how real estate investing works. It was not something that we had to explain to them or break it down or anything like that. So that's a real easy way to get somebody to convince somebody, right? Convince somebody to give you money for a real estate investing deal is somebody who's had enough experience to where they're comfortable with it. They've already proved that it works for them, right? And they're comfortable using it as an investment vehicle, right?
Yeah. So as you're talking, it got me thinking. The idea of a thing is oftentimes scarier than the actual thing.
For sure.
And so I for those who don't know, I actually am a high school choir teacher. I've been teaching choir for 17 years, and every year I get new students in who are just petrified about like performing on stage, performing solos, doing auditioning, things like that. And every year I try to like say, I know it's scary, but once you do it, you're gonna look back and be like, oh, that wasn't that bad. All right. And they all and it unanimously agree that yeah, that wasn't as bad as I thought. So I want to encourage you right now. When we took that leap to ask for the first time, it was like very welcome responses, a lot of positive, a lot of people that were very interested to work with us. So I want to encourage you. The idea of it is much scarier than the actual event, and you will see good results if you follow these steps. Okay.
Yeah, like I sort of felt silly for all of the anxiety that I felt leading up to it.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. So for us then, at from that time on, once we started doing these deals, our lenders started coming to us and asking,
Wow.
"Hey, when you got the next one? We're ready to go. Whenever you're ready." So it has completely ramped up our business, but it we had to take that scary leap, and then once that happened, boom, it's been working out really well.
Yeah, and that's cool when you don't even really have to ask anymore. People are coming to you. Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to tell you the number one secret. All right. So Blair went through all these other things, but there is a key takeaway here. All right.
Secret.
Are you listening? So if you want to get someone to say yes, or even come to you directly to you saying what you got, all right, all you have to do is put together really good deals. That's it.
What else?
Okay.
There's like 57 more steps, right?
No.
Oh.
If you present a good deal that they can see is going to make them money,
Ah.
win-win. All right? So that's it. All right? So their main concern, a lender's main concern is their return on investment. So as long as those numbers work for them, they're usually very excited to get on board with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's it.
Yeah.
That's the big secret, and this is the truth behind how do you attract those people into your sphere and into your space? How do you get people to partner with you and give you tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to purchase real estate investment deals. So we recently just closed on our current flip about 12 days ago. And all of the money that we needed to purchase the property, closing fees and everything, and then all of the money that we need to renovate the property, all private money, like zero money out of our own pocket is going into this deal. And that's just been the standard that we have been running with since like 2018, 2019. Yeah. Yeah. So for the last 5, 6 years, we have been able to connect with people who are willing to they're willing to put in the money. Mostly they want to be hands off, and then we do everything else. All right. So a lot of people will say, like, who's going to give you that amount of money? It's like, well, the value that we bring to the table is they sent a wire and drafted a mortgage, right? They draft some documents, they send a wire, and then they say, call me when it's done. And then they send a payout statement. And then when you sell the property or you exit the deal, and then they collect their return. And so it's a pretty sweet gig for them to get into, right? So like John Paul said at the beginning of this video, there are 3 main things that you need to do if you want to attract private money into your real estate investing business. And that is, you need to figure out what private lenders want and then give that to them. Like, don't overcomplicate it. You need to figure out who they want to work with and then become that type of person. Okay. You're going to want to become a professional person anyway. This is a professional arena. Okay. And then you want to figure out where they are at. If you don't already know who they are, figure out where they are at and then go to those places, introduce yourself, get into those rooms, build those relationships, and bada boom, bada bing, deal's funded.
All right.
And that's it.
So that's all that we got for this workshop. Thank you all for joining us. Make sure you do like and subscribe.
Do all that YouTube stuff.
And go into your social media history and clean it up. All right.
Yes.
And we'll see you guys next week for another live workshop.
All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in.
All right.
We'll catch you in the next workshop.